Hello, everybody. It's Righteous Bishop here. Been a long time. I know. I'm happy to be back on here, but anyways, I've got a new build for you to show off. A new deck I've built. Been a long time in making, but I finally got it mostly done. Until I decide to change it up and throw in new cards, which I will be with Extreme Victory and Reborn Tengus. Those are going to be amazing once I get them. Anyways, let's go over the monsters here. Uh, main thing of the deck, junk synchrons. I run two of them because, well, yeah, you could run three, but I don't know. Just it gives you more options and more room for other tuners. Dopple warriors. These are also the heart and soul of this deck. They're just freaking busted. I mean, and they really power up stuff, and they give you the amazing ability and able to go into formula synchron. You get to really hit those high level monsters easily with these. Quillbolt hedgehogs because they're really good in synchro decks because you'll be spamming a lot of tuners, and an extra 2 stars can mean the difference between a simple Gaia or a Stardust Dragon. And in this build you can really go into formula, which could equal a shooting star, which is one of the main ways to win with this deck. 2 debris dragons. I would run 3, but Konami says no, so whatever. They're lost. Now we're going on to the plants of this. 2 Lonefire Blossoms, once again, because running only 2 of them because, that's what Konami decided. I can't, speak for them, but I frankly decided that that was a bad idea. But anyways, you use this to search out the rest of your plants in this deck, and you really want to run 2 of them. You can run 1, but I assure you, 2 of them will make a load of difference. Not to mention, these are more targets for debris dragons, which, they only have 500 attack, probably too early for you to see, but still, meaning you can pull them out if you don't have a dandy in the graveyard. Speaking of which, Dandylion, I'm still so sad that they limited this thing, but anyways, this is another thing, that really pisses your opponent off, and a Trishula target, to remove this thing from playing your graveyard. So abuse the hell out of it before they do that. Spore, the goatee and douchebag look. Enough said. I mean, you can use its effect, remove a Lonefire, or if need be, Dandylion, pull it out, go into 4 plus any number for damn near anything. Glow Up Bulb, another great card. You'll probably be using this for Formula Synchron. I'm serious. Like, with Dandylion in this deck and Dopple Warriors, really easy for this thing to go into Formula. Next up is the Chaos variant of this deck. The 4 main cards I use in this are 2 Rykos, which of course give you the ability to destroy a card and then mill 3. And then Chaos Sorcerers, which allows you, since you have light targets and plenty of dark targets, you can use these to start removing your opponent's stuff from play. Get rid of that pesky Stardust or Shooting Star or whatever, and really make your opponent pissed. Chaos Sorcerer, really great for getting rid of a Shien. And there's more ways to get rid of it. So those are the main engine cards of this deck. That's what you really want to focus on. I mean, there's other stuff, but they're nowhere near as important as those, the cards previously listed. Next up is the singular cards, the ones I only run, 1 of because, they're nice tech. Battle Fader actually really comes in handy. Once again, you gotta Glow Up Bulb in the thing. You can drop that in the battle phase, come your turn, go into a formula, have massive lulls. Level Leader, because once again, level 1, go into formula, and you can also use it for a Junk Destroyer or Scrap Dragon if you run one, which is another good synchro monster run in this deck. Sangan searches out a lot of your tuners, in fact, probably all of them. Yeah, all of them. So this is a really handy card. Don't rely on it, but it can really make or break a game. DD Warrior Lady. You may ask, why DD Warrior Lady? Because this is a control variant, with chaos elements in it. This is really nice if you need to stall for a turn, or if you want to take out an opponent's really annoying synchro monster like Shien, Thought Ruler, pretty much anything that's difficult to get over. You can run this into it, you'll take damage, but you remove from play their monster. That's amazing. So I only run one of them, but it's really made a difference in games. Card Troopers, milling action. I don't run two because, you know, you can really get some really bad mills, and you know you'll be worse off than you were before. Naturia Butterfly. Once again, you may be asking why. I'll tell you why. Oh, so your opponent wants to attack. You mill the top card of your deck to negate that attack. That can really, really, slow down your opponent, especially when all they've got is, a synchro monster or, a thought ruler, and they're hoping to try and gain life points. You throw that on the field, it's pretty much a nope, because it doesn't target. Your opponent can't negate it with, it's an effect activated, but it doesn't target your opponent's monster. It just negates it. Effect Veiler. It's an Effect Veiler. You hold it in your hand, you drop it. Once again, it's a level 1 tuner in case you need to go into Formula, Crackpot. It's another light target for Chaos Sorcerer, so I really like it. It's a really good card. Really comes in handy. Just got this today, actually. Plaugespreader Zombie. It really moves quickly in this deck. It's nice and pretty ultimate rare. And once again, it's one of those things where you can, it's nice cards to pull out of the graveyard and go into, all kinds of fun. On the spells and traps, there's a lot of basics and all that. Monster Reborn, Giant Trunade. You definitely want to run Pot of Avarice, 2 at the very least. I have another one in here. I'll be coming up on that. But oh, so important, especially when, you've run out of a lot of your, synchro monsters and your tuners and all that. If you pull out a Shooting Star, you really want to recycle your Stardust and your Formula, possibly even go into another one, which, I've, been more than possible able to do if I ran multiple Shooting Stars. Rhoda, Reinforcement of the Army, add your Junk Warriors to hand, add your Junk Synchrons to hand, my bad. Yeah, that's mainly the real point, and, there's really nice stuff you can do with that. Only one MST because, it's a nice thing to, if your opponent has a continuous spell or trap card that you really want to get rid of in a cinch, run this. It'll help out. Once again, 2 Pots of Avarice. Charge of the Light Brigade. For searching out your Rykos. The only problem is that this has happened many times before. I've milled off all 3 cards. It either included the one Ryko that was left in my deck or both Rykos before. That's happened, and that's why the Chaos variant can be really inconsistent. Dark Hole, I run this over a Mirror Force because a Mirror Force can be MST, Stamping Destruction. There's a lot of stuff that can do, and it's not really all that worth it. I mean, it could be nice, it could be a lifesaver, but Dark Hole, I just find it's better. Book of Moon, very important. It lets you either save some of your monsters, or if you want to book their, high-level monsters or whatever and run over their defense, really good. Foolish Burial, extremely, extremely important. It lets you add your Dandy, your Glow-Up Bulb, your Spore to the graveyard, and allows you to pull off a lot of your combos. Definitely run one. Mind Control, mainly for the laughs, because stealing your opponent's monsters and synchroing for something that will kill them, always funny. Enemy Controller, because it's Econ. Same reason why Blackwing Ninja uses them. 1 for 1, you have a lot of very, very good level 1 monsters. And if you need to go into if you need to ditch a card, or if you need to pull out a Glow-Up Bulb or Spore and go into a Formula or any other synchro monster, extremely important. Don't ever underestimate it. Call of the Haunted, because, always nice. Bottomless Trap Hole, the standard. Trap Stun, really nice. Don't want to run it over Decree because you actually might need one of your trap cards. And 7 Tools of Bandit, because 7 Tools is amazing. Well, that's the main deck. 42 cards in total. Running really high in the monster and spell card count. Only 4 traps, as you can see, because traps just, really not that important. Nothing that really runs there. On to Synchro monsters, the bread and butter of this deck. Obviously a Formula Synchron. I only have one, and I really want another one. I would honestly say you must have 2, but I've run with 1, and it's decent. Junk Warrior. is amazing with the Dopple Warrior and the Junk Synchrons, because if you pull out a Junk Warrior using a Dopple Warrior and a Junk Synchron, you get 2 tokens that are level 1 with 400 attack each. That puts, the measly 2300 at a whopping 3100. That gets over most level 8s. That's amazing. You can run over so much stuff with that, and only at the cost of a level 5. And then you get to poke them for 800, which is always funny. Shooting Star Dragon, because you can go into this extremely easy, and once you do, it's just sort of a win more card. And you have a lot of tuners, so you can actually get in there in the 4 and 5 attacks per turn, which is always hilarious. Junk Destroyer, because you can make it with Junk Synchrons, and when you do, you usually tend to be able to pop multiple cards, and that can really break through your opponent's, their defenses, essentially. Brionnic, standard, Synchro Monster. I shouldn't really need to be able to tell you why. Black Rose Dragon. You really want one of these. I mean, this is an amazing card because you can not only use it for its nuking effect, but you can also use its secondary effect, which a lot of people, overlook, to be able to, essentially run over their walls and all that. Their 3,000 defense monsters or higher. And it can really be, very, very helpful and a game changer. Ancient Fairy Dragon. Really, really, really good card. You can special summon monsters from your hand, which of course leads to more, abuse with synchro summoning and all that. And you can put in defense and wall against your opponent. And it's another target for a Debris Dragon. Thought Ruler Archfiend, because I've actually, had a lot of use for this card, especially whenever... Because 2700, that's really good. You can wall against a lot of stuff, especially if your opponent likes to swarm with, lower level attack monsters. It can be really good, and it's unaffected by spell and trap cards that target it. Colossal Fighter. You run a couple of warriors, so it gets a boost to that, and you can just, wall against monsters with high attack, because it can keep pulling itself out of the graveyard whenever it's destroyed by battle. Stardust Dragon, you may actually want to run 2, but I don't, because it's really easy just to recycle it. But very, very essential. I wouldn't run this deck unless I had one of these. So, Gaia Knight, I mean, it's a level 6. It's 2600. It runs over Stardust. It runs over Shien. It runs over a lot of things. Run one in there because you're going to find that you'll need it, especially if you go take this thing to anything serious. Iron Chain Dragon, it's another target for Debris Dragon, which is always important. And 2500 attack is nothing to scoff at, and its milling of capabilities can be really, piss off your opponent. Magical Android, level 5, go into it with Junk Synchron, and you can use it to jump into higher level monsters really easily, and you get the whole, get a boost of life points. Naturia Beast, it's a mill effect, which really goes with the deck, and I can go into it using Butterfly, which is why I included it in there. And since Quillbolt tends to love to be into the graveyard, you can actually pull it out using its own effect and go into a beast. Excuse me. Yeah. So that's the deck. It's really, really good. It doesn't do too well against 6 Sams, unfortunately, but, whenever I run the Junk Dopple variant instead of the Chaos variant, it'll probably be a lot more consistent, especially with Reborn Tengus and such. So this is a really good deck, and I really love it, especially since a lot of it's been built by hand. But nevertheless, this is my main deck essentially. The Naturias are unfortunately, as you can tell, they've been sort of pulled apart. This deck right here is sort of a a preview of my next build. It's Titanial, Caius, Gigaplant. Yes, that's right, plant synchro. I have a plant fetish apparently. I don't care. But yeah, so that's around the band. All I need is actually 5 cards to finish the deck. So it's gonna be fun when I finally build it. I don't know if it'll actually be serious main deck or whatever, but nevertheless, I really love this. Love both of them. I really do. So, to Righteous Bishop, here with another deck review by, well, I've already said it. Well, good night, YouTube. Good luck.